It's a new year, it's 2021, and I thought I'd do a quick recap of some of my favorite looks from 2020. Let's get to it. I'm Madi with Madi Sews, and welcome back. So I went back and started counting all of the things that I made in 2020, and it turned out to be a lot. I'm talking like 50 plus. And that's just when I stopped counting. So I decided that instead of taking you guys through the whole year, I thought I'd just review some of the things that I actually really loved. I've got 10 of these for you, so let's count them down. So number 10, these are my cashmere at Concor tees that I absolutely love. These tees, I made 3 of them earlier in the year, and they fit perfectly. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever had t-shirts that fit me that well. What's really nice about the Concor tee is that it comes with different cup sizes so that you can choose something that really fits you. And to be honest, when I looked at these pattern pieces, they looked like my body shape, which is just amazing. The pink striped fabric I picked up from Joann's on like some kind of like super sale for like $1 a yard. So I had picked up some of that to play with. The pink mesh one was some fabric that I picked up from Spandex World online. And then that floral one was actually some fabric that I picked up from the Sewing Studio Fabric Superstore in Florida. Number 9, I actually made 2 Marlboro bras by Orange Lingerie. I ended up grabbing 2 fabric kits to make these bras. One was from TaylorMade and the other was from Emerald Curtain. Now for these bras, I actually took a class because for whatever reason, I felt intimidated by the whole bra making process. So I took Nikki's Sewing My Style class for the Marlboro bra, and then they helped me get the right fit, and I am so grateful for it. Unfortunately, I forgot to pre-wash my fabric and they've shrunk. I plan on making a couple more. Number 8. Earlier this year, I actually went to the DC Frocktails event that was here in DC and had a blast. Well, I made this black dress in Simplicity 9010, and it has a really cute like low cross back on it. Really cute. To add a little bit of visual interest, I actually applied some black beaded applique around the one shoulder and going down the back. And then I applied organza flowers on top of that. Those flowers I actually made while we were in Puerto Rico without any power due to an earthquake. So I made flowers, I brought them back home, I attached them to my dress. Number 7, my Mood Citrus dress. So Mood has these free sewing patterns that you can sew up, and Monica with Sew Your View on Instagram actually had chosen the pattern for, I think it was October. So I ended up making this pattern. Now, I had to make a lot of adjustments to it. I did the size according to their chart that would have fit me and my measurements, but it was really huge around the arms, huge armholes, huge sleeves. And so I had to take that in a lot. I did lengthen the sleeve on this one. And then instead of doing a faux button placket that, you know, runs down the front of it, at first I wasn't sure if I was gonna like the dress, but I have to be honest and tell you guys that it really grew on me. It might have had something to do with my husband saying that I looked hot in it. Number 6. Now this is my comfy ruffle dress. This is McCalls 7948, and I used some fabric that I had in my stash that I had picked up from Fabric Mart. This was quite honestly the first time when I was able to just kind of like pick one size for a pattern. I think it's just because it had so many gathers at the bottom that it easily accommodated my hips. I did, however, have to do a 2-inch bust adjustment on it, but that was pretty simple. I made view C, but I attached longer sleeves. Number 5, I made a couple of Green Style Creations stride tights, and it was the first time that I had actually made such a well-fitting pair of tights. The fabric that I picked up for this was from Spandex World. I just really, really like their selection. They have a lot to choose from. I did end up customizing this a bit. So the waistband that I chose to put on the tights was the high-waisted contoured one, the curved one. And then instead of just kind of like using that, instead of just like making a plain yoga type of waistband, I decided to go ahead and put some power net inside of it to make it kind of, well, stay up, because I have a problem with my waistbands rolling down. I also put some elastic up around the top of it, and I think that sealed the deal. It worked out perfectly. I had actually done a whole lot of searching on like best techniques and stuff to use on athletic tights like this, and I saw that so many people were making cute things with their cover stitch, like the nice stitching and stuff. So this actually inspired me to get a cover stitch machine of my own, which I just recently tried. And I'll tell you what, man, that beginner's curve is, woo, that learning curve is crazy. Stay tuned for that video. Number 4 is my Rachel Comey Vogue 1645 jumpsuit. Now, you all, like, you might have thought I was kidding when I said that that thing actually brought a tear to my eye, but for real, like, I think I cried on this one. I could not figure out how to put in this like magical zipper that's like by the pocket, not on the pocket, kind of like hidden on the inside. It took forever, and it looks like I wasn't actually the only person who has had that issue before. So once I got that figured out, it's okay. But man, like, I'll put a picture in here. You can see the stitching looked crazy. The pieces looked really interesting. They weren't your standard pieces. It had like a different piece that ran up under the side, and because I couldn't figure out how to do a full bust adjustment, I decided to cut just an extra large on the entire thing, but that ended up being just way too big on my upper body. At the time, I had decided that there was no way that I was going to go back and remove any fabric. I was done with that thing, but to be honest, it got a whole lot of wear, and I did end up going, just a couple of months ago actually, I went in and I think I removed 4 inches from each underarm area, like that piece over there, and it fits so much better. Number 3. So I found Sirena Patterns, who's like this Puerto Rican pattern maker, around Hispanic Heritage Month, which I was super excited about. So I picked up a couple of her patterns, and I made the Wanda dolmen top that she has. It's a real quick and easy make, but man, it looks so good. It's drafted so well. I actually customized it by shortening it some and then adding in different striped panels. One was a stripe that I picked up from an Etsy seller. If I'll try to find their information for you in case you're interested in the smaller matte sequins. But the faux leather sequin I had picked up from Haberman's, I believe, in Michigan ages ago, which was a total score. Both of these tops I cut in a 2XL. I do wish that her size range was much larger, but I actually think that she's planning on expanding that, so that's good news. Number 2, my Burr Baby by Mika's Digital Patterns. So this one actually, like, this one gave me so much grief when I first started putting it together because, you know, it was just like my choice of fabric, the recovery on it wasn't the greatest. And then, yeah, I was just being a big baby when I made my Burr Baby. But really, I love it. The first version I made was the French Terry black and white one that you see. And that I actually picked up from Fabric Mart. It was a lightweight French Terry, but it had some like really crappy recovery on it. But forgetting the fabric, I actually really do like how this pattern fits my body. It's really perfect. I like the sexy shoulder detail, and I like the way it hugs my curves without being like too clingy. I feel like it's just clingy enough. I also went in and I hacked it, and I added a little bow detail for the pink fuchsia one. And that one I actually made from a sweater knit, which has like amazing recovery, which is really good. Both of these sweaters, I cut a large at the tops, grading out to an extra large by the hips. I put the band on the bottom of the black and white one, but the pink one I just left it off and I hemmed that bottom piece. Also, for the black and white version, I had ruched the sleeves and I used the longer cuff And for the fuchsia one, I didn't quite do all of that. I just did a regular sleeve, no ruching, so no elastic up that side. And then I used the shorter cuff. That pink one is really my favorite because with the long pieces that I had attached onto the collar, you could either tie that into a bow or you can wrap it around your neck and use it like a scarf. So super versatile, and I really love how cute it came out. Number 1. So I'm most proud of this one, and this is why it's number 1, even though you might look at it and say, okay, it's not the shoulder gray top, but I self-drafted that. And it was my first top that I self-drafted that I absolutely love. I made it so that it's an oversized, throughout the body, and then it has really long sleeves, and then it comes down off the side, and that neckband just kind of like hugs my shoulder. It worked out really nicely. It's the most comfortable thing that I have, and I feel like I can wear it with anything. So those were my 10 top looks from 2020. Let me know in the comments below which was your favorite. After reviewing everything that I made, I've really come to the conclusion that I like things that are a bit more structured, but that have like a bit of visual interest in it. So for 2021, I think that's where my focus is gonna go. But let's see what actually happens. So if you had fun hanging with me, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and hit that bell notification so that way you know when the next video is posted. And until next time, I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.